My request is that everybody should limit to 5 minutes because every party time is over. Then I am allowing everybody. But Mukul Roy, I know you are former railway minister. Yes, you speak. I think he should be given 2 minutes more. Eh? Okay.
Respected Deputy Chairman, sir, I know that my time of my party has already been exhausted.
But you are a former railway minister.
So you are kind enough to allot me few more times to speak.
You can speak 10 minutes.
Sir, the latest budget of the NDA government has its theme, I quote, transform, energize and clean India. The government may kindly explain what role it expects from the Indian Railways to play in the TEC India agenda when all possible attempts are being made to downgrade the importance of the railways in the national economy. It may be worthwhile as mentioned here that the government has yet to come up with a definite answer on how clubbing the railway budget with the general budget, which was done for the first time for the financial year 2017-18 and deviating from the 92-year-old tradition of presenting a separate rail budget would constantly lead to better fiscal management. A separate rail budget had been a 92-year-old tradition and for justifiable reason, not simply to ensure that the railways minister enjoyed a greater degree of clout and independence in decision making within the railways, as pointed out by the Vivek Debrai recommendation, discontinuation of a separate railway budget. Sir, I am sure of our Honorable Finance Minister is gracious enough not to take away all the glory of our Honorable Railway Minister. The Vivek Debrai committee has also been economical with the facts. The committee has recommended it not as a stand-alone step, but as part of a slew of measures such as complete overhaul of the project financing achievements of the railways involving ruthless weeding out of unavailable long pending projects, comprehensive accounting reforms, separation of infrastructure and operational and setting up of a rail regulatory authority. Pending these steps, each of which is a major project in itself, some sensitives are also there. The move to give a hasty send-off the railway budget is perplexing. I am not trying to argue that the railway budget is a holy cow that cannot be touched. Far from it, the question is not why, but why such a hurry to bury it? Why should there be a separate budget for the railways? The fact is that railway is indeed unlike any other central ministries in size and scope. It is an operational ministry. It earns as well as spends, unlike other ministries that only spend its gross earning rupees 1.68 lakh crores in 2015-16 are among the highest for any Indian organization, public or private. It has a staff strength of 13.2 lakhs that exceeds that of the Indian Army. It fully meets the pension liabilities of its retired employees, 13.8 lakhs, out of its own earnings, unlike other ministries. It follows an accounting practice, though not up to the standards of a purely commercial establishment that has a number of features of commercially run organization. So if the railway is to be treated like other ministries, will the government also funds its pension liabilities, which are estimated to be about rupees 45,500 crores in 2016-17. That should be some savings indeed. I am sure the government, though such a step is not trying to suggest that a professionally managed organization as the railways, with its vulnerable history and tradition, it's incapable of putting public money as good use and needs hand-holding support for the purpose of the mandatism in the Ministry of Finance. At this rate, who knows, tomorrow the government may even recommend it simply doing away with the railway board, claiming that other infrastructure sectors do not have similar arrangements. This government is capable of just about anything, never mind how disconnected its actions are with the philosophy its espouse of Sabba Sakha Sabba Vikas. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Our Honorable Prime Minister has allotted rupees 1.31 trillion for railways with a gross budgetary support of rupees 55,000 crores. He has also increased the railway line construction target from 2,800 kilometers in 2016-17 to 3,500 kilometers in 2017-18. The Honorable Prime Minister mentioned that railway will focus on four major areas: passenger safety, capital and development works, cleanliness, and finance and accounting requirements. His announcement included a corpus of rupees 1 trillion for a railway safety fund to be spent over the 5 years, solar power for 7,000 railway stations, redevelopment of 25 railway stations, 70 projects for construction and development through joint ventures with 9 state governments. The budget also proposed stock market listing of railway enterprises like Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation IRCTC, Ircon International Limited and Indian Railways Finance Corporation, and end-to-end transport solution by Indian Railways in selected accommodation by partnering logistic companies. The budget also waived service charges or railways e-tickets to encourage cashless transaction and made AC class tickets cheaper by rupees 40 and sleeper class by rupees 20. Hinting at a passenger fare hike, the Finance Minister had said that railway tariff would be fixed, taking into consideration cost, quality of service, social obligation and compensation from rival transport forms. It might be appropriate to comment that the initiative seems to acknowledge the fact that railway is losing share in both freight and premium passenger service to alternate modes of transport, necessitating an integrated approach to greater safety, cleanliness and passenger comfort and higher service levels to freight construction through end-to-end service. But what might be worrisome is how to do we expect the common man to be subjected to paying more without any assurance of better comfort and security. We have witnessed railway accident deaths in the past. I have never forget for those days when I was the minister, but not to the extent we are finding nowadays. The recommendation of the Anil Kakodar Committee on Safety in March 2012 and on modernization by Shyam Pitroda Committee in February 2012 need to be implemented to minimize accidental deaths. My leader, Ms. Mamata Banerjee, Honorable Chief Minister of Bengal and former Railway Union Minister, had time and again displayed and advocated relief for the common man by trying all means to raise revenues without compromising on the ownership of railways before restoring to the easy means of raising fares. A case in point in the project delays, which is escalating the cost, and railways need to engage in a dialogue with the respective government to resolve the issue which are coming in the way of implementation of project in those areas. I am also of the opinion that the new scheme of a merged budget will now perhaps require an institutional method of monitoring progress of important projects available to Parliament and in public domain. I would like to highlight a few points to bring out how the railway is being particularly singled out for treatment bordering on neglect. The amount earmarked for capital and development expenditure of the railway in 2017-18 is less than 10% increase over the capex for 2016 and 17. Going by the government's own claims, it explains that Indian economy to grow 7% and upwards in the medium to long term. Such atrocities allocation for capital and development expenditure for the railway would imply one of two things. First, either the government itself does not believe its own assertion on growth, or the government does not want the railway to play any meaningful role in driving growth. Two, in the latest budget, the government has also talked of setting up a Rashtriya Rail Sanrakshan Kosh, which will have a corpus of rupees 1 lakh crores for 5 years. How does railway plan to mobilize resource for modernization and safety? How does the government plan to better the operating ratio? It is extraordinarily the government has yet to make clear the structural mechanism for this course, as well as indicating timelines for its formation and the initial contribution to be made by the government. This would again imply that somehow or the other, this government is less than serious about the key issues of railway safety and security. Throughout its long history, the Indian Railway has made it possible for countless millions of ordinary Indians to transform their lives. It would be a sad day for the country if this extraordinary institution is not permitted to do justice to its potential by not being able to function the way in it's capable of. Sir, I know today the railway minister is very busy as because one accident has taken place. So that's why he is not able to sit here for a long time. That I know, but because
Minister of State is there, he is noting down your
so
points.
that's why I'm not asking any question. MOS railway is there. So, and the cabinet, he has come in here. I know that if the accident has taken place, then what sorts of situation arises? How he is busy on that very day.
You were a railway minister, so you understand.
I don't, so that's why I'm not asking any single point. Today is a sad day for the railway. 8 coach has been derailed.
Thank you.
Sir. With these few words, I conclude my speech.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, the next speaker is